Coming up tonight on YCN News, Kearsarge Regional School District Superintendent Jerry Frew is New Hampshire's Superintendent of the Year. A suspicious fire this morning destroys 3 Thetford, Vermont police cruisers. And YCN prepares to host a political debate between New Hampshire District 8 candidates. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth-Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Kearsarge Regional School District Superintendent Jerry Frew is New Hampshire's Superintendent of the Year. Frew's selection as the state's most outstanding school leader for the 2014 through 2015 academic year was announced yesterday. The New Hampshire School Administration Association, in coordination with the American Association of School Administrators, issued a proclamation announcing Frew's selection. Frew has led SAU 65, which comprises the 7-town Kearsarge district, since 2008. His peers and colleagues say the right person has been chosen. Concord School District Superintendent Christine Rath says Frew sees the possibilities in every student and staff member. That vision and goodwill extends to the entire Kearsarge community, says SAU 65 Board Chairman Dan Wolf. Above all, Frew does his job with humility, says Guilford School District Superintendent Kent Hemingway. Frew will accept a special award at the Winter Conference of the National Conference on Education in February. The conference will be held in San Diego, California. In Vermont news, a suspicious fire this morning destroyed 3 Thetford police cruisers, state police report. Firefighters were able to stop the fire from spreading to the town office. First responders arrived at Thetford Center around 2:24 a.m. today, answering a call of a reported car fire at 3910 Vermont Route 113. That's the address of the town offices. When firefighters arrived, 3 cruisers were fully engulfed by flames, say police. Damage to the 3 vehicles is about $100,000. The Vermont State Police were called by the Thetford Fire Department to request an origin and cause fire investigation. Police investigate the case when a fire is believed to be of suspicious origin. That's what investigators determined. State police seek the public's help. Anyone with information about the fire is asked to call the arson tip line at 1-800-32-ARSON. There is up to a $5,000 reward for information resulting in an arrest. The Vermont State Police also can be contacted. 802-875-2112 is the number for the Rockingham Barracks. It may be considered a necessary evil, certainly a discomfort for the motorist in concern over a car's tires and shocks. One of Bellows Falls, Vermont's busiest streets is getting a makeover. Paving along Rockingham Street in Bellows Falls, Vermont is in its infancy. The steps to repave the road are underway and will last about 5 weeks. Depending on weather, that could go a bit longer. Now, drivers along Rockingham Street are driving on dirt road, with some rocks and divots along the way. Getting down to bare or dirt level is a first step to prepping a road for new asphalt. Lane markings will follow. About 1,700 telephone workers are on strike in northern New England. The Associated Press reports today that Fairpoint Communications field workers in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine are now on strike. Fairpoint company officials say plans are in place to limit any inconvenience its customers may experience in light of the strike. Issues of pensions and health care insurance are at the core of the impasse between employees and management. Fairpoint in August issued a new contract freezing worker pensions, and the AP reports mandating workers contribute to the cost of their medical insurance plan. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union Rep Peter McLaughlin says union members have made significant concessions to management. They will not negotiate further. A vote to authorize a strike passed by union members earlier this year. This morning, the strike began after union officials met in Boston. Fairpoint spokeswoman Angeline Beaudry says company leaders will listen to proposals dealing with the core contract issues. Today, in separate statements, New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan, U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, and U.S. Representative Anne McLean-Custer urge both sides to return to discussion so that a solution can be reached. In New Hampshire political news, 3 races are too close to call, reports the latest poll from the New England College Polling Center. For the 5th week, over 1,000 responses to the NEC poll were tabulated. The race for U.S. Senate between Democrat Jeanne Shaheen and Republican Scott Brown is among the group where voters could go either way at the ballot box. And keeping an eye on the state's congressional races, it remains to be seen who the next 2 people standing up for New Hampshire in the U.S. House of Representatives will be. GOP Young Leader and Salem State Rep Mary Linda Garcia is challenging incumbent and Democrat Anne McLean-Custer for the 2nd congressional district seat. On the eastern side of the state, the race between Congresswoman Carol Shea Porter and Frank Ginta also is neck and neck. Meanwhile, Governor Maggie Hassan, a Democrat seeking a second 2-year term, is ahead of GOP challenger Walt Havenstein, the poll shows. When YCN News returns, a local bakery moves to a new location in downtown Claremont, and YCN prepares to host a political debate between New Hampshire District 8 candidates.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. The YCN station got new neighbors recently. Simply Sweet Creations, a local bakery in downtown Claremont, moved from its location on Summer Street to a store right on Pleasant Street. Let's hear from Katrina and Heidi to learn how business has been at the new place.
We've had a lot of new faces come in, and we've gotten a lot of orders for specialty cakes that we like to do. Our old location was kind of hidden off in a little back corner on Summer Street, but since we've been on Pleasant Street, especially with the colors that we've done for the outside of the building, it's been pretty popular. We like to specialize in custom order cakes for weddings, birthdays, all occasions. We also do cupcakes on a daily basis. We are trying to expand a little bit into doing more cold desserts like parfaits and trifles, and we do cookies and brownies and things like that.
We are now located at 32 Pleasant Street. You can't miss us. We have the bright colors of the pink and green with a porch out front. You can find us on Heidi's simplysweetcreations.com, or you can like us on Facebook at Simply Sweet Creations.
If you're in the Claremont area looking to satisfy your sweet tooth or looking for a place to custom bake a special cake, be sure to stop by. Now it's time for another look at our weekly financial report. Today's subject, focusing on change. Let's join Martha Mackey for her advice.
Financial Focus on Change.
Hi, I'm Martha Mackey, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. This time of year, you're noticing a lot of changes. The kids are back in school, the leaves are turning all these sorts of beautiful colors around here.
What does this mean for my investments?
What you may not know is that your portfolio also gives you signs when it's time for some changes. One of the biggest changes in your portfolio in the last couple years may have been an increase in some of your stock values, which may mean that you're a little bit out of balance now. A good investment strategy has a mix of stocks, bonds, and cash, and if those proportions are off from where you originally intended, this is a great time to rebalance your portfolio.
How should I think about balancing my investments?
The other signal that your portfolio gives you is when one of your individual investments has grown to be a large percentage of your portfolio. You may have something that's done very well. And remember, just because something's doing really well today doesn't mean it always will. And even if it's a good holding, you wouldn't want to invest too much money in one thing. So if you have a lot of your portfolio in one holding, this is a good time to look at making a change.
What other changes should I consider?
There are also changes in your life that might affect your portfolio. For example, if you have a new child born, you might want to think about what you're saving for and making sure you're setting up something for that child. Or maybe you're getting close to retirement and you're thinking about changing the way you're investing to be more in line with that stage of life. So whenever you notice these changes in your life or in your portfolio, take some time to work with your financial advisor to make the changes needed to make sure you're prepared for what's around the corner. I'm Martha Mackey with Edward Jones. This is Martha Mackey, your local Edward Jones financial advisor, located at 54 Opera House Square in Claremont, New Hampshire. Member SIPC.
Thanks, Martha. Financial strategies are very important in today's economy. YCN News is hosting a second political debate this Monday night. All are welcome to attend and learn more from candidates for New Hampshire's State Senate District 8 race. Democrat Linda Tanner and Republican Jerry Little seek the seat being vacated by State Senator Bob Odell. The debate begins at 7 p.m. in the Library Arts Center in Newport. Questions from the audience are encouraged. Claremont's Broad Street Park Sunday night at 6 p.m. is the place to be. That's when the Civil War statue will be illuminated. All are invited. The statue's lighting continues this year's 250th birthday celebration and 150-year anniversary commemorations of the U.S. Civil War. When YCN News returns, we'll join Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon, who met with Jennifer White, Director of Sustainability at Colby Sawyer College.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have patchy fog after 2 a.m. with partly cloudy skies. Lows will be around 52 degrees with winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning we'll have patchy fog before 7 a.m. Then we'll have a 40% chance of rain between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. with mostly cloudy skies. Highs will be in the 60s with winds up to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night we'll have a low of 40 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and winds around 10 miles per hour. Sunday temperatures will drop to bring a high of 48 degrees with partly sunny skies. Winds will range between 10 and 15 miles per hour, with some gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Sunday night will have partly cloudy skies with lows in the 30s. And now let's take a look at our fall foliage report. We will continue to bring you foliage updates in New Hampshire and Vermont counties. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in Newport, New Hampshire, the Richards Free Library will hold Family Lego Day at 11 a.m. In Hanover, the Dartmouth College Gospel Choir and the Rockapellas will join guest singers for a concert from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. After a slew of rainstorms yesterday, many games were canceled. However, there was one girls' soccer game in Vermont that continued despite the rain. Hartford versus Rutland. The final score was tied at 2 after double overtime. Hartford was ahead 1-0 at halftime. However, Rutland scored right before the end of the second half to tie the score. From there, both teams struggled to score a goal. Hartford's record falls to 4 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join John O'Connor and Lisa Cannell for this week's News in Review.
The YCN News continues in a moment.